All right, everybody, welcome back to the third episode of the Beckley Wrestling Show. We got a real monster of a guest today, Christian Carroll, U20 World Team member, bro. How you feeling today, bro?
Doing good. Doing good. Feeling great. Back
Yeah,
in training and getting the ball rolling. So,
hell yeah. How's how you getting settled in down there, Oklahoma State? Things
oh
things
yeah,
going good?
real settled. Yep. Classes, everything's going real good. Got a great schedule, and our training's been going really good. So,
Good, bro. Look good. I I was sitting here looking. Actually, since you got back, we might as well just hit it off the rip. How do you feel about U20s? How did it go? How was the trip? How do you feel about the whole gist of it overall?
uh, try to be a pretty positive human being, but I don't think anything went well. Wrestling, trip wise, travel, everything. Food wise, nothing went my way. It didn't seem to go my way, but it was all good. So, all learning for the future and help develop my career throughout. So no matter what, at the end of the day, my goal is to be Olympic champ. So whatever stepping stones I have to take, if it's here, there, or there, whatever it gets to me to my ultimate goal, which is being Olympic champ.
Yes, sir. I think you're well on your way too, bro. Like even like when you look at that your first match, like dominated, and then you come across that cat from Iran, and to be fair, like that they eat, breathe, and sleep freestyle from the time they step on a mat. That's all they know. You know what I mean? There is no folk style world like which so I just feel like you got dealt a hand, and even in like the repertoire, whenever you come back, you got a hell of a draw out there. You did, and it's nothing to hang your head about, bro. Because the way that I view it is, no matter like I'm an Ohio guy. I'm out here in Ohio, and you put that USA singlet on, bro. Like you're our guy. Like, and there's nobody else that we'd rather have rocking it for us in the world, bro. So, hey, we're proud as hell of you, bro. So you should be proud of it, and especially the way you got there. Like when you look at how you did it, the U.S. Open to the World Team Trials and the final, like just dogged everybody. Like I got something here. Like you gave up 61-7. Like that was your like you scored 61 points and gave up seven at the
And
U.S. Open, bro. Like just
first time I touched the mat in half
whew,
a year, so it felt good.
yeah, it looked good. It looked good. And honestly, like I've always watched the folk style side of you. So like it was something really new to me to be like, damn, like Carol's for real. Like if you stay hammering with it, like that's a scary thought, especially whenever you're doing it at what you're 19, 18, 19.
19, yeah.
19, yeah, bro. So like the sky's the limit, man. And I just from us outside looking in, bro, I want you to know that like, and I'm not the, I can promise you, there's a million other people that agree with me, man. We very proud of you, bro, and the way you represented the country and held it down for us over there, and going and smoking that first dude, and then just getting some pulls. And I know you would like it to go a different way, but we definitely very proud, bro. Very, very.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, looking back, it was a good experience to have, but I'm glad I'm back home, getting back to work because definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth. But the day I go there to get gold, and then it's that simple. So I had a
Yes, sir.
talk with Coach Smith, and that's what I told him. I said I sucked. I didn't wrestle, so I didn't need any uh, from him. Anyways, while I was feeling, I didn't really want any positive reinforcement. I just
So
wanted to freaking butt go back to work and get everything fixed, body, physically, mentally, technically, everything. So that's the game plan right now.
respect it, bro. Respect it. Now, how since you got back, how's Oklahoma? I mean, because the recruiting class you came in with, man, it's such a like Oklahoma State's building something down there. Like you guys got just
Yeah.
monsters coming that came with you. And how you guys getting acclimated? How's it all going? Or like with the upperclassmen, they kind of taking you guys under their wing. Things going getting transition going good.
100%. A lot of these guys have been here for a little bit now. We've been the summer, and if the guys previous been in there before that, but no, it's definitely the atmosphere's completely changed. I feel like with all these young bucks rolling in, and some of these senior leaders taking lead more, and or the juniors, sophomores, even the just all the upperclassmen as well. I think with this new class and people just coming in and want to compete. I don't think there's a closer team in the country. I mean, we had a lot of transfers and just hearing their experiences, which not just in any other program, but I
Yes,
think upperclassmen and the lower classmen, the just the family aspect. I know it's cliche to say because I feel like every college has it, but it really is. That Southern hospitality here is really real, and with all the coaches and all of our teammates, I mean, everyone, seniors, freshmen, we all hang out at least once a week. We all have a team Bible study. We all go out and
oh,
do stuff. I mean, tomorrow we all have, it's very, I mean, very normal. It's not just a one-time deal thing where, we're eating here at coach's house or have this or that, so it really truly is a team. So, we live together, we die together. So it's a really good team. Really, really good atmosphere here.
that's awesome, bro. I'm glad to hear it though, because I mean, just with all right, so the recruiting process that got you down there, like as a
Yeah.
sophomore, you're coming out of Indiana, you off what right after your sophomore year, you commit to Illinois.
Yeah.
And you end up switching to Oklahoma, which sounds like it was a good thing for you, and it sounded like it's going good. But what led to you kind of thinking like, hey, maybe I'll be a little better down at Oklahoma State than here? Like, what just led to the switch?
There's a lot of variables actually. A lot of it had to do with my family and my personal life. My father moving down to Texas, and I'm about 3 hours away from him, so
Awesome.
really special bond, and definitely greatest father in the world. He's done beyond for me. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of sacrifice he's done. I mean, this is for example. So where I lived in Indiana, he worked in Chicago, which is our community. To drive just one way is 2 hours, so he'd do that every day for his job. So he'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning, go to go. He'd send out emails and head out to Chicago. Come back. The way my middle school was set up, we got out real late around 4. So then he'd come back, drive another 2 hours, grab me, drive 2 hours down to Purdue. We'd train there. Then when I was training there, then he'd come back, drive another 2 hours, get home at like 12 or clock, whatever it was, real late. Then wake up 4 hours later, repeat the process. So my dad's a freaking animal. So really, really gracious to have him, and he's willing to do as far as I'm willing to go. So to have him by my side, definitely wouldn't be where I'm at today right now without him. So moving down here was had a big play was my father, just because I want to be close with him, and I think I still need him no matter what. No matter what age you are, he's wise. He's older than me. He's lived a lot longer than me. Had a lot
Yes,
more.
sir.
So using him still as a tool is what I personally need. Then also just the South in general. It's different than the North. Up north, there's some slingers, man. We go get
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
A little bit laid back. It's a good culture. Some I really truly haven't experienced. Really more family oriented. Have a lot of positive things down here, and just the coaching staff as well. The coaching staff's really really good. I like John. I like how Coach. Sorry, I should say Coach Smith. You can kill me if I said John. But Coach how he handles things. He's really wise. I mean, obviously he's the goat, right? But
100%.
through all wrestling you can think of, he's done it. So
Yes, sir.
it's just hearing him. It's a little bit surreal because you're growing up and you're like, John Smith, is the greatest guy ever. Then now he's like talking to you in the room every day, pointing at you, doing
Yeah,
stuff.
that's crazy.
It really is. It's a cool experience to have. And then he's been around the sport so long, so just hearing him speak and what he has to say is it's like it's so hard not to be motivated. Then having Coach Perry, which is he's my man, Coach Perry and Coach Caldwell and Coach Gary. Those guys are they're my boys, so they're willing to do anything for me. I mean they. I've had so many nights or late nights staying up or being with them, just watching or dealing with these problems or whatever I have to. I mean, they're willing to die for you. So it's a lot. It's a lot more than. I feel like with any coach staff. I mean, I think there's a balance where coaches, they're. I guess they have a position role. They have a family. They have other things in life, but together here we're all one family. So I mean, they hang out with us. I mean, they don't on a certain level. So they talk to us all the time. They're really really. I don't think I've experienced that yet. Obviously, this is my first time being in college, but it's been a great experience so far. Is what I can say.
Awesome, man. And I'll tell you what, everything I'll tell you this, like you said, like anybody that goes to a college, like I've talked to guys from Cornell, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and you're right, but the way that you and Dustin plot when I did the interview with him, you guys had literally, if you go back and watch his, bro, he literally, my God, I think you guys like teed it up the exact same way. So there's no question in my mind, like that atmosphere is exactly what you said. And uh I could tell you Dustin was real excited about you guys too, just like the young Bucks coming in, and real excited about the future of the organization and where it was heading.
Oh,
And just
100%.
he that kid, he's one of my favorite interviews, and that's not to knock anybody. I appreciate everybody that's done this show and tried to help me build this platform in any kind of way. But just the way that he handles himself, like I would want my son to look up to somebody like Dustin, like the way that like he pushed uh, God and put God first in his life, and that was very big to him. And it hit me like, wow, man, they got something
I
special.
think I think he has more calm than outside of sport. He's so disciplined in every aspect of his life with faith, with schooling, with wrestling, and that guy he works
Yeah.
so hard. That guy works so hard. Just watch him go. It's like it's a full sprint. The minute the clock goes to the enterprise, it's a full sprint. So he animal and the most laid back dude I've ever met in my life. I mean,
It seemed like
he would take me to church, take me to do this, pick me up here. Like if I need someone to call, it's Dustin Plott. He is the greatest team leader. And that's where like visiting other colleges and going to other places and experiences some of the wrestlers, is different culture. Everyone's just like I was kind of like feel like it's a competitive room. We're very competitive, but it's like you walk in and like very open arms. Nobody thinks they're better than anyone. Everyone's obviously going for the same goal, but it's just different. It really is different. That's Southern hospitality. I could go back to saying it, but it really is different from what I've ever experienced just there. Because guys like Dustin, some of these, because I'm walking like these guys are the big chief, man. They're all American.
right.
Guys been here for a while. No, they're acting like they're on the same
They're
boat with
equal.
talking. They're just so humble and awesome people. So
That's awesome, bro. And you couldn't find a better room because, like, I'm sure, like, I could only imagine as a freshman going into Oklahoma State, like you said, John Smith, and just the name sheets and plot and just the Oklahoma State in general. And then like you walk in as a freshman, like you would think, like, man, I'm gonna get dogged this first year or whatever. Like you're not knowing what to expect, and then whenever you walk in and you get what the humbleness, the niceness, it's like yeah, like this is awesome. Like they make you feel comfortable. They welcome you with open arms, and like you said, like just the fact that Plot or anybody would be willing to pick you up, take you, like that's awesome to hear, bro. I'm glad you got yourself in an environment like I mean, you're the number one pound for pound kid at a 2023 class, so I'm glad that you found yourself a good home, bro. And I really hope that I can't wait to see you hit the mat, bro. I
yeah,
really can't.
I'm excited too. I'm excited when I get everything right. It's I was very. I just gotta get. I can't make excuses for myself. I gotta get back to work. That's it. That's simple.
I
So
dig. I
that's
dig it though. Are you looking at redshirting this year, or are we going straight after it?
that's a good question.
Fair.
Um, there's a bunch of it's. I'm gonna wrestle my 5 matches and we'll go from there. And if
Yeah.
I
See,
um
I, is
100%,
John
but
Smith kind of is John more like, hey, come nationals, the best five's going to be on it, or is it like, hey, we're going to see what's best for Christian down the line? Like whenever Carroll's out there, we're going to see like, hey, if it benefits him better to let's sit him a year, even though he might be our best heavyweight right now, or is it just hey, best five? If he's our heavyweight, best 10 guys go, like period. That's just what it is.
Um, it's it's a choice. I mean, they're not trying to dictate. They're not trying to control my career in that sense. So it's up to my choice. I kind of talked to some of the coaches. They said they're going to put me out for the the 5 matches, and if I'm ready to go, and then I'm ready to go, and if I feel like I need a year to grow and develop, gain size, this that, then they're all for it. So they're really reasonable, and it's that's what I'm going to go off of. I think it's the most smart decision is to get those red shirt year and or far so get those 5 matches and see if I need a red shirt. Worst
Yeah.
case scenario, because I've been doing simul class and stuff, I'd get grad school paid for, So worst case scenario. So
Uh, but I'll tell you what though, bro. Like I feel. outside looking in, like granted, like college is a whole nother. I actually heard, and Nick Feldman said this because he was just on Flow the other day, and I was watching it, and he was like, which you've ran across him before, like to where he was like, man, what a whole nother. He's like, it's lightweight, like another sport. Like when you get up here, it's like it's just such a different level of like, holy shit, like and like it really. But honestly, like I feel like you're coming in at another level that you don't see people come in at. Like I feel like you and Feldman, out of two heavyweights that came in the last 2 years, is like, whew, these boys are they're just they're ready. Like it looks like it though. Like you know what I mean. Like I feel like you could jump in the ring with any of them, buddy. And I'd hate to toe the line with you, but like at the same time, like I know that your coaches are going to put you in the best situation for you and your career possible. So
Yep.
whatever does happen, man, we're excited to see. Even if it's just those 5 matches, I know we're excited to watch it. That's for sure.
I'm excited to get on the mat. It'll be a good year. It'll be a good year no matter what, Russ or not.
Absolutely.
That match has got some opens, and so I'll be on the mat no matter what. So
And that's
always
the good part.
forward to it.
I'm
It,
so glad that I'm glad they put that. But I'm glad they implemented that whole five. Like freshman, you can still keep your red shirt with the five. I'm so glad they implemented it just for the simple fact it gives you a feel.
it's a good testing tool. See where your
Yeah,
guy at, especially if you think you want to throw him in. It's a really good tool to use. So we got some. I mean, I have Connor Doucette, who's a top ranked, or he was like, maybe got up to 18 or so. I don't know exact ranking he
yeah,
was. But so either way, we'll be set at heavyweight. If it's me, if I'm the guy, if he's the guy. So as of now, plan on red shirt and plan on getting my 5 matches. But if I think I'm ready to go and the coaching staff as well, then we're going. So
absolutely. And that's good to hear though. Wait, is he a senior this year? Like, cause with the COVID year, it throws everything off. I don't know if like who's in their final year or not. Like,
schooling wise, he is. He might have another year. Um, but I know for sure this is probably going to be his last year. I,
yeah.
be- I believe. I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I know he's been. I'm pretty sure he's been there 4 years already. If not, this is his fourth year.
That's what I thought. I thought it was. I thought this was it. But then with that COVID deal, it's like, man, I don't know. It's got things such binded up for like the next 2 years. It's like I forget who's what anymore. Everybody like I was talking to Bryce Hepner and I was like, yeah, you got like 2 years left. He's like, no, bro, I got three. And I was like, man, I'm done trying to keep track of it. Like I can't. Like everybody's got an extra year.
100%. I'm seeing guys where I'm like, how are they still wrestling? Yeah.
It's like you're 27 years old, bro. What are you doing out there?
We have a guy. This is gonna sound nuts. We have a guy. And he's done this year. He's already done. He texted us. He actually had this year, I think somehow, but he was on Coach Perry's senior team, and he was on our team last year. So what is it?
That's crazy.
14, something like that. But
That's
he,
crazy.
at first, he had like a 2 year missions trip, so he got passed around Silly. But he was already on Coach Perry. And Coach Perry's a senior team, and this guy was in our room last year. I was like,
That's
whoa,
crazy.
wild. It's crazy with all the years. And I know Stefan, he was at Michigan for a while. So it's
Yeah. I felt like forever with the Olympic red shirt, and then you got I think he had a medical red shirt, and then it was just like, man, I feel like you got to be 26 by now, bro. Or like Michael Kemmerer at Iowa was there. I feel like he might have been 30, bro. But it is. It gets me confused, but at the same time, man, like I'm super excited. Whatever route you go, I know you got at least five in you, four in you. Like I can keep track of what's coming in.
yep, 100%.
But what first led you to a wrestling mat, man? I usually start off with that, but we started rolling with U20s and stuff. But like, what got Christian Carroll on a wrestling mat like when he was a kid?
I'll tell you very specific. Yeah, so it's a very specific scenario. This is my dad brainwashed me when I was 3 years old. So he had old VCR tape, and I don't even know if HD TVs were even out yet. Maybe it was like we had like the first one or something, or I don't know how it went, or it was my uncle's or something along the lines. But it was this VCR this tape. It was called Dan Gable Ultimate. That's what it was. It's called Dan Gable Ultimate. I still have it. It's in one of our
That's
files.
awesome.
Some of the file. It looks real old. It says Dan Gable Ultimate on it, and it had I think the Steiner brothers were on it. Maybe it had the Brand brothers, but something. It was like um, I think maybe it was Terry Steiner or what, maybe it was Troy. I don't remember. But one of them were on there, and they're like, "Win or lose, I'm gonna make him go through hell." And he's like just looking, beating at the just his eyes were wide open. Just it's like this is what I want to do. And I see him running and stuff, even though as a kid,
That's all.
people's faces and stuff. Where that's exactly what I want to do. So, but
That's awesome.
at a couple times when I was 3 years old, and I actually did well. Then I ended up like just hate being. I don't know what the reason was. I just didn't like it. So my dad waited till I was a couple years older and a little bit more mature. So then when I was 5 years old, I started really kicking it off and been doing it ever since. But yeah, that tape, I remember it like yesterday. You just see him sprinting. Gable was it? You know, he was coaching then, and he's. I think Lincoln was in it. I think he was complaining about the guys something with the sprints, but that he goes, the team isn't about you. It's just I just remember it all, and
That's awesome, bro. That's
I,
honestly, I'm about to go get that tape or look it up or find it because my son's almost 3, and I want to find a way because everybody's worried I'm gonna like slam rest because I love. I mean, clearly I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love it. But it's like everybody's like, well, you can't push him too hard, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna make him like, hey, you have to do this. I want him to kind of like how you did, like you watched it and like your dad like played it and you found that love for it on your own, like and here you are doing your thing. And to be honest, I hope it can grab him like that too, because I think wrestling helps in so many different ways. Like not only do even if he doesn't go D1 and sitting at Oklahoma State and have the same success that you had, like I still want him to do it to where like I think it helps you outside of it. Like even I'm a heavy equipment operator is what I do for a living. So like, but I feel like it still helps me. Like whenever it me like I want to be the best one that I can be. I want to be better than everybody. I want to be like I show up early. I grind. Like you know what I mean. And it's been a blessing. And I feel like the sport of wrestling has really been that blessing that taught me to that structure that bust your butt no matter what, like and so I that's really why I want him to. So like I always kind of like hearing everybody's story, man, and that's a good one though. Like that's definitely that's awesome. I'm gonna have to look that one up, big man, and maybe show it to the boy here this
get,
weekend.
get him going, start getting him hooked. You
Yes
know,
sir, yes sir.
no, right. No, I know we were saying to the pushing thing. I think my dad. I mean, all dads are crazy. They all get. I mean, my dad's no perfect with growing up as far as the push part, but I feel like overall he had the best balance for sure. He was willing to do as far as I was willing to go. So, as far as being a supportive father, he was absolutely the best. So,
Now do you feel you loved it because your dad loved it, or do you think you would have loved it even regardless, like
no,
you know what I mean?
I just think I would have loved it either way. 100%, 100%. I was built for this. I can just remember. I don't know if it's my personality or how maybe my dad's wired and how I'm wired, but like just always got to do something a little bit ADHD and just like I was always rolling around as a kid or doing something. I always had to grab someone or like something, right? So I think I just fell in love with it and it just kept me busy. Then I just started winning at a young age too, so it probably helped obviously a little bit. But no, I never was like didn't want to not go to practice. Like I always, as a little kid, always wanted to do it. So I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So
You
I
could
think
tell you do. I feel like you to get to your level you have to a point.
100%, 100%. You can't. I mean, you definitely have to love it because it's a grind. I mean, there's gonna be times like, man, this is tough. This is but those are the times when you get tough. That's when you're gonna win. Coach said it today. He said because we're running it up and we're going. We're doing this, that, and in our training cycle right now. And he's like, what's better than because we're we're going decent, and he's talking about bodies being sore and this and that. He said, "I'd rather be kicking ass than having a sore body." So I was like, "Yeah, 100%, 100%."
Absolutely.
Learned about that, anyways. Like, yeah, 100%, amen. So
I
you
like
know,
that. I like that.
at that point, you gotta love it. But and so people like that, even that's what's so great about being at Oklahoma State. You're hearing the goat say, it's like, all right, yeah, let's go, let's
That's
go.
it.
right now. So
You know, if John Smith's saying it, it's got to be for real.
100%, 100%. When he's getting fired up, then he's definitely getting fired up. Coach Smith, 100%. Yeah,
I tell you, as somebody that's been through it, and I guess this is a question just for me, bro. Like, what would be the best way? Like, if you sit back and you look at like how you started and how what got you to be the number one kid in the country, pound for pound, to get you to Oklahoma State, like as parents sitting here, and granted, I wrestled for 12, 13, 14, 15 years. I started at 5 till 18, so 13 years. And I I really don't, and I still worry about like how to best how to go about and
yeah,
approach
yeah,
my son.
I yeah, 100%. Um, so there's a couple things I would say. One is I think all the trips, as far as my dad and parent, like I'm gonna do the same thing for my son. Maybe I don't have to do half of the stuff my dad did because I was hopefully I can win some national titles all over the world. But my dad was crazy. He's taking me everywhere. He's driving Chicago train, Purdue train, Michigan. I mean, he's taking me all over until I found a really good coach. Even then, I was driving an hour, and I went to school an hour. And that's a whole other story. It's wild. I've been to 4 high schools, but it's wild. But my dad my dad was never narrow minded. He still is not now. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? So
Yeah,
taking me. We kind of did backwards. It was a little bit backwards. How my training was because my dad typically, you go somewhere, you get the basics down, you get the stuff down, and you start building a go-to and this and that. So I had this coach, this coach, this coach. I had like 4 coaches at the time. I had this huge arsenal. I had like a big arsenal. I knew a lot of moves actually, but I couldn't put it together. I couldn't really, put it all together to have this huge arsenal and become the wrestler I am today. So he actually took me a lot of places. He took down, he was so outside the box of training. And this is when I mean, my dad's just really innovative. He's always thinking. He's always thinking. So, he was always asking questions. He definitely didn't think one way was the right way. Not saying there is not one right way for something, but he was always thinking about the next step and always asking questions himself. He's kind of putting himself in my shoes, like because he'll watch me and he'll be like, "Well, what do you think about this?" Or what? And he never came off arrogant. He's actually truly thinking about the sport. Kind of like in my position when I'm in there practicing. So he'd ask me on the way home and stuff, and what do you think about this? What do you think? I was like, oh, that's a good point, and starting to comprehend it. There's you can go to practice, you can do moves, you can have a go-to, but to truly comprehend the sport is it. I mean, it's mind blowing. You got to know why you're doing it. I know that sounds so simple to say, but you got to know why you're doing it because this will have this effect, this, that, that. For me, like the first thing I do out there is I'm check hand. I go out there, check arm to dictate which I call it. I use it. You know what a puppeteer is?
yep,
The guy with the strings to control the puppet. So no
yep,
matter
yep.
I'm in, even if he has an underhook in on me and I'm in a bad position, I'm always the master. I'm always the puppeteer controlling the situation. So for me, this one thing right here. So I'm check arming the right side of his hand. He's gonna put up his left arm, or naturally gonna post his left arm. I'm gonna head an elbow pass, short pass, come back, and I'm gonna post just from check arming, just from day
Yep, yep.
one. You gotta know why you're wrestling. You gotta really truly comprehend the sport because one thing can have 20 outputs, right? Especially in the sport of wrestling with all the variables. But I guess to go back to my point was you gotta be outside the box. You gotta keep thinking because my dad took me all these coaches, always kept, their he was always it's not that you gotta go 1,000 places because I don't think that's good, but yeah, I kind of did when I was younger, and I kind of had this huge arsenal, which is good because I developed like because this coach might say something, and this other coach say something else, and I got all these different ideas. Now you're growing in your sport. No matter even if they say the same thing, but I might hear from this coach, and it might register in my head. As
Right.
even though this coach like I said the same thing. It might interpret it a different way for your kid, or break it down a little bit better than the other coach. So
100%.
and even if it's not the greatest coach, or if you get one thing, spit out the bones and eat the meat. You might always take something. So having that, my dad. Then I had a coach, Chris Fleeger. He was a 2-time NCAA runner-up for Purdue, 2-time world medalist. He is a heck of a technician. I mean, he is.
Dog.
He's if you know who Coach Fleeger is, he told he has some regrets. I don't want to speak on his part. He might kill
Yeah.
me. But if he really went after it, he probably could have been one of the best to ever do it. I mean, technically, him and Coach Guerrero, I've never, as far as how they explain technique and how they do it and their system they have, because Figure has his own system and it's wild. I mean, it is. I don't think there is a better. I don't think there is a better club coach in the country. For a matter of fact, honestly, I
Yeah,
just don't. I mean, he was taking guys. He was taking guys that weren't placed at state, and they're getting third in the semis of Super 32 the next year. The next year, I mean, and
yeah,
he's taking
that's crazy. Where's
development.
he out of? Where's he at right now?
New Carlisle, Indiana.
Indiana?
Yeah,
Man, I
so
might have to move to Indiana.
100%. He's worth it. He's tough, but going through it, you'll be the best. You'll be the best best wrestler. So he's the man. His mind. He is so intellectual. Obviously outside of the sport. I mean, you got to be smart to do this. You can't be some bum off the street. It's real. It really is a chess match. So
Yeah, and honestly, like, and how much mental do you think wrestling is? Like, out of everything, like everybody gives a different answer, but like I've had people give me as low as 40, and then I heard Kerry Collette. I was actually talking to Gene from Wrestling Mindset, and he said Kerry Collette said wrestling's 95% mental. So, in your opinion, what do you think is when it comes to physical and mental? How much is wrestling? What do you feel? How much a percentage is it?
well, comparing it just to physical and mental, I'd compare it. I'd say when you say mental, are you saying just going on the mat, or also technically and all that stuff combined towards mental?
I guess like all right, so you all right, so you're getting ready to go up against Tony Cassiope or Greg Kirkland up in Penn State. Now is them rankings or those accolades getting in your head or are you wrestling the rankings or but I guess like all the above though, like even like learning the techniques and stuff. So but at the main thing is like not beating yourself, keeping your head. So like
Yeah,
leave out like the learning everything. Like how much is that like to where like, hey, I don't care that this dude's a 3-time All-American placed in the top three, like, and I'm a true freshman coming in. I'm ready to eat. Does that get to you? Does it not? Like, and how much of it do you feel plays a part in it to it?
it never. I'd say this world's probably a few times. I mean, it's been a while since I really got nervous or anything. And I still have a huge heart. There's a lot of times at wrestling, I don't even show half my wrestling like I am in the room, but it's probably a few times I actually got nervous, and I don't know why. I just got in my own head. I wouldn't say it wasn't like even the Iranian. I wasn't like I was not scared. I'm not. I don't fear anyone except God. So it wasn't that I was full of him. I was just so worried about winning, and that's what it was. It's like
Yeah,
I think another good thing Coach said is people are scared to just get tired, and that's actually the biggest fear. It's like I gotta go wrestle those full whatever 6 minutes or whatever. I think that's the biggest fear is actually just getting tired. So it is winning and losing because I got me. I got big. I try not to show it, but inside of me, I have a huge ego. It's like I gotta freaking win. Not
right.
not for like everyone else, but no, it's I can't. I don't even want to say that because that's not true. You get pressure, you get people, and you feel like you have to, and you don't. You can't let that dictate you. At the end of the day, win or lose, especially if I lose, my dad's still gonna love me. My family's still gonna love me. My God's still gonna love me. So,
Yes, sir.
biggest thing in losing, gotta go get better. You'll always have another. You got to put yourself to have another chance. So you can't say, "Well, I'll never have enough." Of course you can. Of course it can make another world team. Of course it can be. I got to put myself there, obviously. Of course it can see those guys later down the road. So that I'm not worried about. You just can't worry about winning or losing. What happened to me? I put winning. The best analogy I can give you is, those big old. You're from Ohio, because I'm from Indiana. Amish people. Those big old
Oh, bro, I live. Yeah, yeah,
wheels,
right.
and they got the spokes and the hubcap in the middle.
Yep.
So hubcap's in the middle, right? And it's spinning. It spins normal. The minute I put that hubcap on the other side, what it's going to do is going to whoop, whoop, whoop. It's not going to rotate properly, right? So, what I did, I was putting winning. I was putting the main focus is God. So, I was putting that a little bit more above God at that time in my head, and that's what I was focused on. The minute I start doing that, I start getting lumps, start getting my butt kicked. Not necessarily, I'm saying on the map, but spiritually. So, I didn't have God as my sitting hubcap. That wasn't my, at that point in time was not my biggest focus. And I had winning there, and I put God out because he's my main hubcap, and I took a lump. So I would be a very fearless person when I have God center in my heart. So I think that was my biggest problem overall, honestly. Why I wrestled bad, because I wrestled like I just woke up. I thought every match, even my first match, I was gassing out because I was so nervous, like for no reason. I mean, I didn't open up. Even the Turkish match, I was like, I want to punch myself looking back because I know when it's go time. Because when I was at the World Trials and I wrestled my first match, and I was like. I was just ready just to get on the mat. And like I think in the first 5 seconds, I hit an arm spin to a shot to a duck. I was like the first 5 seconds, I was just so ready. And I was like, and Coach
Just
Lane's
getting
like, take it down. I was like, hell yeah, yeah. I gotta be technical. I just
it.
fling the kitchen sink. I said, screw it. Especially since I don't. He's a good guy. I love him. It's like, hit him in the arm. So he's a great guy. Screw it. And the second match, my mindset, coach looked at me. I'm like, he's dead. That's he's like, he's dead. I was like, he's dead. And then that's it. I was like, you're my like. Once I'm in that mode, I feel like I'm unbeatable. Um, but yeah, so I think having that to go back, I think that'd be the biggest part of winning. So I'd definitely say it's when you're all at a high level, because we all got to get better, we all got to learn. But yeah,
Absolutely.
say 95% would be right, 100% because still got to do some. You got to be disciplined. Right when you're at the tournament. I know it sounds crazy, but I know you did all the work. But the warm up has to be disciplined. Everything you got to do has to be disciplined. So even when you're at the tournament, so I'd say I'd agree with 95%, 100%, because you can get out skilled. I mean that's always part. That's always one part. You can have two fearless guys. Someone's got to win, right? So it's someone who just got after it a little bit more. It doesn't have to be technical. It could just be getting after it a little bit more in that specific position. Um, so I'd say 95% mentally.
I
I
like that though, bro, because I agree. I agree. Like I think it's such a huge part. It played a huge part in my state tournament. Like I lost in the first round, bro, and was the 2 seed,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to wrestle anymore. Like I literally remember sitting up in the stands, like my everything I worked for is garbage, is trash,
Yeah,
and I I thought that I should have won it, but I ended up honestly, I think my uncle was there, and he came up and ended up getting my head right, but it was just a mindset. He got my mindset, bro. Wrestled my ass off for the next 2 days. Came back, took third, and I look back at it now, and it was just my mindset. It really was, and so I agree with the 95 that you and Carrie, and just I think there's so much more that people don't get. Like they can train, they can work, they can. Uh, Actually, Rocco Welsh said the same thing. He's like, man, I've done everything. I've worked, I've trained, I've went everywhere, I've worked, and he was an amazing wrestler. But he said that it just felt like something was missing, and he went to that wrestling mindset dude that and Gene, and they really helped him put it together. And he was like, it's crazy, but it made me complete as a wrestler. And it was like, man, that's it. I guess I never really viewed it like that until I got into like talking to guys like D1 wrestlers and like big, the best of the best. And it's like, man, I guess I never really looked at it, the mindset set of things. And then even when I look back in my days, I'm like, man, it is huge. It makes or breaks you.
for sure, 100%. It's a huge part of sport. That's why it's a tough sport. It's one on one. There's no one to save you. You got no football team. Got nobody. Can't blame it on yourself. So it's definitely different than all the sports in the world, especially ours. It's the longest sport on planet Earth.
Yeah.
It's a great combat sport on planet Earth. I think it was one year. I don't remember. Maybe it was 2019, 2018, something like that. 9 out of 10 belt holders were main background was wrestling or collegiate wrestlers. So it's like really the greatest combat sport in the world. I can take a blow, but when I take you down, you're screwed. So a street fight. This is a true statistic. Goes to the ground in 30 seconds. So guess what's going to happen? The best takedown artist is going to win the street fight. So who's that? The wrestler. So no, it's great sport in the world. It's tough mentally, but that stuff helps you in all aspects of life, job, CEO, this, that. I mean, because when you say you're running $1 million company and you got this guy or whoever, I mean, you got to be tough mentally. Not only disciplining your work, but you're gonna have to make some tough calls that could could lose it all. You know, so
100%.
you got to be mentally tough, and I think that the sport translates so well into every
It
aspect
does.
and almost everything.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And that's why I feel like everybody, like, I hope he latches on to it, like, kind of like you did with your dad. And honestly, like, I hope that he looks back at it one day whenever he's 19, 20 years old and thinks the same way that you do, because I have one son. I don't know that I have one kid, one child, one, just me and my wife. We had a heck of a time, getting one here. We ended up with 10 miscarriages, and so we had to do
oh,
an IVF. So we got him here. So I just want to make him a success, like just set him up for the best possible. And yeah, he's my best friend. So I mean, well, who would have thought a two
um,
and a half, 3 year old would be your guy? That's my guy.
I think I think the best thing my dad's ever did for me for sure is because, like I said, we had those 2 hour trips, drive. I mean, we went everywhere. So what are you doing in the car? I mean, every trip. There's not one trip I sat on my phone, or may I went to sleep because I was tired or something. But we would talk for hours about everything and everything. I think my dad was the best thing he could have ever done was build my character. It's just he talked to me hours, just teaching me how to do this, that. It could have been talk about anything, you know. You could, it, people. This is actually this is not bragging about my dad, but he knows the most random things because he's the biggest researcher. He researches everything, no matter what it is. He could, I mean, people are like, "How do you know?" I'm sitting there, like, "How do you know?" He's like, "I research." But wait, that thought came across his head, and he researched it. But no, he helped develop me,
That's awesome.
and so much more than the mat, so much more than wrestling. Just how to be. We could talk about growing my faith. Could we talk about how to there's been a lot of talks, and especially the last couple of years, like I'm supposed to be this is how you're supposed to handle an interview when you're talking to such and such or this or that, or how to network, or how to or we had some real talks about this thing I need to invest in the next 5 years because it's gonna
Yeah.
grow. Like the one conversation we had was 5G, nano, blockchain, and AI and solar.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. Good man. He's a good man.
that and then all the especially when you got AI and all that stuff coming. So it's
Yep.
all the jobs away from like basic jobs. So like working mechanics in your brain. So I forgot which side that is, left side or right side. The other side is creativity. So that's one thing AI can't do. They're programmed, so they can't generate creativity. So that's going to be the next wave of jobs of whatever that is. So
Yeah.
just it could be
That's
anything.
awesome. He's teaching you that though, because at the end of the day, me and my brother were just talking about it. Like we didn't have like, well, I mean, not to put him on blast, but like we didn't have a dad growing up. Like he was there, but he wasn't there. And we didn't have, so we didn't have nobody to kind of feed us. Like we wish somebody would have told us, hey man, invest in this. Hey, look into this. Hey, try, like do this with your money. We kind of were like, mom did great. Don't get me wrong. She was at
Yeah.
every event, three
Yeah.
sons, going to everything. She was a monster. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, like it, there's only so much one can do. You know what I mean? But that's awesome, bro. I'm glad to hear that. Like he's putting that into you because like he's not only just instilling wrestling into you. He's instilling just for your future. He wants to see you succeed. He wants to. And you got brothers and sisters? Is just you?
Five. I got 5 siblings.
Dang. What
Yeah.
was you the oldest, youngest? Where you at in that?
I'm the baby. I'm
You're
the
the baby. Me too, bro. I'm the baby of three. There's three of us. Yeah.
I got a older brother. He's a wine test taster. Then I got my sister Jill, and then I got my brother Ben, who's in special ops, and then I got my sister Cassie. She's at Purdue right now. She's finishing her senior year. Then I got another sister who's at Purdue as well. So
Dang. Hey, look like a successful family to me, bro. But I'll tell you what, it seems like even the way that you talk, man, you seem like you guys were raised the right way. I mean, the way that you speak, the way that you carry yourself, your humbleness, like you very much. They did well. They did well.
yeah, I like I said, there's no other sport that father and son wise. I don't think there's a better sport for us connection, building that relationship. I think the sport translates into life, especially where my dad came from and his background. It's absolutely nothing, and the way how he built himself and became the person he came from is nothing. I think wrestling's the same sport. You start from nothing, you try to be something, right? And I think that's a lot of things in life, but as a parent, you got to take your kids, you got to do this, go to work. So you're struggling, but then your son's, struggling in the practice room. It's a grind. He's got to develop, this, and this. And as a parent, you're trying to do this and this and this for your kids. So I think it's a fight and it's a war constantly far as for my sake is my father and me, me on the mat, him in the world. So I think it can just translate so well and intertwine with each other so well, the sport and life. So
No doubt, bro. That's awesome, man. I tell you, and even just that, like to hear a 19-year-old just go over and view the things the way that you do, man. Like, heck, I'd like to shake your dad's hand just to be like, bro, like sir, you did a heck of a job. You got a hell of a son here, because yeah, I was already a fan, and I'm gonna walk away from this podcast really, really, really a big one, bro. I can promise you that. So, definitely you don't hear a lot of 19-year-olds and men 19-year-old men just talk like you do. So it's and I've done a lot of these, brother. I've done a lot of them. So uh it's cool to hear the faith aspect, the way you view things, like where you want to go, like how you're looking at things inside of wrestling, outside of wrestling. Like it's I think you're set for a heck of a future, buddy. And I'm excited to watch it. Honestly, like I am, I'm excited to watch it unfold and see what's in store for you, because I think it's nothing but greatness. Because like you got that mindset that, like we was just talking about, that you got that 95%, and I think it's set on go, and it ain't gonna take you nowhere but up, brother.
100%, no matter what Colin is in the sport, out of sport, I'm gonna do something because I like my dad. He's no nothing's given to you in life. And my dad told me that even people could be the free meal thing. My dad said there is no such thing as free meal. Someone's always paying for it. It might not be me, but it could be. You can say the government or whoever. Someone's always paying for it. Um, so I'm gonna be working wherever life takes me, whatever path God has me for. I'm gonna work for something. So I'm trying to be the best at that. So if it's wrestling, heck yeah. So
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be. I do. I have a feeling it's gonna be. I think,
that's my
like you said, you're built for this, brother. You're built for it, and I really can't. I can't wait to see you put on that OK State singlet and get after it, man. I think honestly, like it just, and I do, like as a fan of the sport, like I want to see you, because the heavyweight, like, all right, so you're looking at it as a whole, and when you throw Christian Carroll in the mix with Cassiope, uh, Gable's back, Feldman. I mean, it's even Hendricks, or yeah, Wyatt down at Air, or the dude down at Air Force that's smoking everybody right now. Why am I showing a blank? But he's pinning everybody. Just the heavyweight that there's just unreal, the weight class. And I'd love to see you in that mix, bro, and just see what you can bring and put a little twist in it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, that weight class is just getting nastier and nastier and nastier every year.
is different generation of heavyweights, a lot more dynamic, a lot more athletic.
It's insane, bro. Even like this, like, dude, that's a heavyweight now. Like, let me show you a heavyweight. Like, that's an animal, bro. Like, that's a freaking beast. He's eating well, and just the, like you said, the athletic ability on top of the technique, on top of just you put that all together with like some that mental toughness, and it's like, how do you beat this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you walk around at, like weight wise?
Right now, ooh, I don't even know if I want to say my weight right now. It's really hard.
You know, yeah, you're good. You're good.
What
But
my what my competing weight should be at 240.
240, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fair. I like that though. I mean, honestly, like, because I mean, then you got even that when I feel like whenever 240 though, and like you come up against like, oh gosh, who's a big one? Down there at Arizona State.
yeah. Schultz.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Uh, Beast at Greco too, and it just that's a 285 pounder. Like,
yeah.
does that 45 pounds, like, man, that's got to take a toll on, like, just hanging on your head, and then like him just being a Greco dude, or anybody at that weight. Like, is there a big at that heavyweight with being able to be 230, 240, 250, and going up against somebody like Colton Schultz, like does that play a big factor into the like the matches? Like, man, I got to approach this a little different with him having 40 on you.
100%, 100%. It's there's a lot tactical. Conditioning, the way I'm going to have to beat these guys. I'm just got to be tough. Especially coming in as a freshman, retro freshman, whatever it is. The only way I'm going to beat these guys because they're not going to respect me. Don't matter. I came out, whatever, or did whatever leading up to this point. I'm going to come out and hit these guys in the mouth. I just got to out tough them. Yeah, they're 25, 24, but, these guys have been doing it a while. Sometimes you don't know what they're thinking. So, I'm young and ambitious, and now I'm coming, to go for the kill. So, I'm just simply have to out tough them, and that's how you're good. Especially, it don't matter in college. I think Coach Perry was telling me this. He forgot what he did in the senior U.S. Open his senior of high school, beat a couple national champs or something when he was in high school, and then he tried translating the freestyle results over to folk style. It's a different world. It really is two different sports. The styles are drastic, but he said he came in freshman year, thought he's going to come in and just hammer these guys, and then he said. Second thing I know, I'm in a 3-2 match with Binghamton. So yeah, he said the guy maybe placed it a couple times, but he said that's how tough college wrestling is. These
It
guys are
is.
stalled; they know how to keep it close. So no matter what, he said the point. He said I might have a bunch of matches like that where, you're in some could be any college, no big school college, and now you're in a scrap, because it's college wrestling. Um,
Absolutely.
and you got to respect it, but you can't be afraid of it. So, and that's how I'm going to win. I'm going to have to scrap some matches out and win some I'm not supposed to, and get the job done. So,
I'm excited for it, bro. I am. You like this 3-point takedown roll?
for me, it's the best thing for me.
I
Especially, it's probably going to be a little bit tougher for me. And we're figuring out now some things, and I have a good game plan for top. But far as getting a 3-point takedown, I'm going to have to use my speed and conditioning. I think it's the best thing for me for my scenario. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because I think you're so. I mean, I think obviously, I mean, you're a beast from the neutral position. You're one of the best heavyweights I've seen come out of high school in the neutral position. So it's like, yeah, I could understand you not being upset about it. And like, I, I honestly, I think the two things that are going to be like, is your math's got to be right to where it's like, all right, hey, I'm down or I'm up. I'm up two, so like, hey, I'm good. Like, nah, you ain't good no more. Like, or I'm up three. Like, hey, I can take give up this take. No, you can't give it up. You you know what I mean? Like against a really good kid. Now it's like, oh shoot, like I gotta you that would be, I guess, the hardest part. And honestly, for me, like not being able to scream two no more. Like
Yeah, that's gonna be
that's
weird. 100%.
it is like three. Like what?
Yeah,
Like I still might scream two all the time, but like at the same time, like I'll put up three though. But like
100%.
two.
They'll be screaming it too for a while if your son's in high school and all that. But unless they change it there, but I don't know if they will. But they might. Stuff follows suits typically, but um, college rules been staying away from high school, so I don't think it will implement too much. But
I
if
wish
it
they would. At least the out of bounds. I wish high school would get to the college out of bounds,
high
like to where you can wrestle. My opinion, just
school
as somebody that
out,
watch.
high school folks out of bounds drives me nuts. The minute
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
out, it is ridiculous.
And I've seen so many takedowns where it's like, man, that's a takedown. I mean, hundreds a year. It's like, come
For
on, guys. Like,
sure.
what do you want from this kid? He's taking him down four
Hey,
times, but it's right on the out of like, yeah.
yeah,
I just wish they'd at least adopt that one. And other than that, like,
100%.
I love folk style. Like I'm a folk style guy. I've never wrestled a freestyle match in my life. Love watching freestyle. Love it. Like really have gotten heavily into it over the last 4 or 5 years. Want my son to do it, and obviously have Olympic ambitions and dreams, and hopefully he can chase them down. But I know that they've talked about getting rid of folk style and transferring everything to freestyle. What's your, or do you have a preference of the two, or how would you feel if they did everything freestyle from youth on up?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you could take this. Ugh. Yeah, I'd love freestyle. Freestyle's my favorite. I like it a lot more just because it's a cool way you can pick them up and slam them on their head and not get in trouble. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah, it's yeah. I think what makes Americans so good is folk style. I think that's why we win. Sometimes we win. Maybe we shouldn't. One is our cardio, our conditioning in the world is because of folk style. It's folk style is so harder, so much harder than freestyle. Folk style is so much harder. You work your butt off for very little reward, and freestyle
Right.
like they're done. Folk style is just a freaking scrap, and I think that's what makes Americans so tough compared to some.
You're right.
And we break them because it's because of folk style. It's a grind. It's not you're not gonna just walk out and text someone. Unless you're Spencer Lee going, that.
Right. You're just gonna get that arm bar and
Yeah,
tilt. See ya.
outside of that, it's a freaking scrap. So I think it's really good for us to have,
So do
and
I.
I think American. I think we get a little bit more. The only downside I think we are an American as Americans. I think our neutral position freestyles solid. I mean, they're pretty crafty. They do some wild things as foreigners, but I think our parterre games is where we're lacking a little bit. Um,
Facts.
those
That's a
rush.
fact.
I mean, we don't see any guys really gutting. I mean, yeah, Burrows and a speed lace here and there, but I think we
Yeah,
can do
really, we're just the dogs on our feet.
for sure, 100%. And that's why I win because we get right back up. Like, those
Yep.
foreigners we're right back in their legs or hand fighting or
Yep.
whatever. They're slick. They're crafty. Those foreigners are real slick. They'll rope a dope you. They'll
That's
rope
a
it.
fact. And I've learned that over just watching you guys go overseas and like I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning over here just to watch you guys get after it when the U20s were going on, and but you want to know honestly, like the best leg lace I might ever have seen in my life is Dustin Plot. And I'm not even like this is a fact. Like I watched Carson Karchla has maybe the one of the best guts I've ever seen, and them two go at it, and he hits him with this gut that's just Carson's gut is insane. And then he has the most wicked lace
For sure.
ever, dude. I mean, Carson was like, I mean, it was just tight, beautiful, and he's done it so many times. It's like, oh,
Everything's perfect. It's
oh,
him and his old Tuttle buddy Luke Serber are 97. Their laces are Serber's is really good too. Uh, those guys' laces are insane. I mean, the
they are,
transition or just getting it in general from parterre, they're really really good at. So,
they
um,
are. It's fun to watch though, and when they get it, it's like, man, that is the tightest thing. Like these dudes' in space are like, ah, like the whole time they're turning, it's like, oh, that's tight. That's a wrap. I watch him just like put up like 20 points like with Karchla, just going and going. I was just like, it was 9-0, and then he wins 21-9, and I was just like, that was the most brutal lace I've seen in my life
Dustin just a straight. He is the most pure Oklahoma, hardworking, just
for sure.
definite of someone being from Oklahoma, just tough, rugged type of come smash you in the mouth, and he get. I mean, he is really. I know you heard him. He also gassed him out. I mean, and Dustin just gets right back up and he's in your face.
In fact,
He works so hard. I mean, he works so freaking hard. So his gas tank's unreal. So that was part of just the Dustin Plot show. He's gonna come right back at you. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, bro, I apologize for keeping you this long, man. But I got it. I honestly, I looked up and I was like, man, I told him 30 minutes, so that's my fault for keeping you for an hour. But
no problem.
Christian brother, I appreciate you, bro, more than you know. Honestly, you taught me a lot, learned a lot. Appreciate you as a human. You're like, it must be something about you, Oklahoma State boys. I got to get with all you because at the end of it, I'm always like, man, like I want my son to like really like look up to these guys. But honestly, it's a big reason why I love doing this show because we get to see you guys on the mat. We get to see this monster back here, and like, we're like, man, what's he like as a person? And then when you talk to him, and he's a God fearing man that like somebody you'd want your son to look up to and follow, and uh, it, you are that man, bro. And I can promise you, my son will know about you, and he will be watching you. So, I appreciate you taking the time and just letting us get to know a little bit more about Christian Carroll and sharing it with the world, bro, and everybody that watches. Man, I definitely appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you also, like you just said, putting out there, especially for me, it helps me and promote me and our sport. So I definitely appreciate you as well.
Thank you, big man. I definitely appreciate that more than you know, because I love this sport. It's hard for me to walk away from it. So getting this time with you guys is huge, and I can honestly say, for like I said, you Oklahoma State boys have been top notch, man. It's something like you said, even coming from Indiana, and I know Dustin, he's been an Oklahoma boy forever. He was born in California, but then shoots down, and he's an Oklahoma guy. But you guys are just built different. There's something about y'all that makes you guys special, and I can always get up and I'll go tell my wife or everybody's like, hey, or whoever, like, and they're like, hey, she asks me every time, hey, how'd it go? And it's like I'm always, I, I'm gonna walk away from this real very pleased with the conversation, man, and how it went. So thank you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I hadn't talked for days, so no worries.
Ah, no doubt, man, and likewise, and hey, and I'll tell you what, man, like I say this to what I want to do, and I mean this though, like, and once you get that All American and you get up on that podium or that national championship, let's run this back. Let's get back together again, man. And
100%.
tell me how things are going down there, and hopefully we are you. Hopefully we see you gonna try to hit Paris next year.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure the game plan, but obviously for me, yeah, 100%.
No man. I mean, well, hopefully either way, but like, yeah, like, let's definitely just stay in touch, brother, and we'll definitely, and I'll be definitely wishing you the best. We'll be rooting for you, and good things are coming, my man. I can promise you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, Christian. We'll be talking to you, big guy.
All right. See ya.
Later, bro. Christian Carroll. Man, that if that don't tell you, it is. It's something about these Oklahoma State kids I just love, man. Like they are just, and I enjoy everybody. I can honestly say like I've never walked away and been like, these that dude was this that. Like this goes to show you out of all these episodes that I've done. Some I haven't put out yet. Some have. All the ones that you guys have been able to see. This is only the third one with the Beckley Wrestling Show. But I just an amazing human being. You could tell his father played a big part in his life, and he really hit home with me on that because it's so huge for me. I love this sport. I want my son to love it. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm good with it. That's why I want everybody to know because, like, I feel like I hear it all the time. People think that I'm going to push it too much, but at the end of the day, I'm not. I know what this sport does for you. And Christian, I feel like is a prime example of a way that him and his dad were able to bond and uh even that alone, like the time that they spent on the road and the conversations that they had and how close he is with him. I mean, I want my son to be my best friend forever, so like he really hit home for me on that, and I'm glad to hear him and his dad did it. uh and just the person he is as a human, man. I mean, just another one, another, we got another great one, like a killer kid that like I just was already a fan by watching him on the mat, and then we get to see who he is as this person, and man, it's just how can you not root for him? How can you not? Like, uh, I hope he gets everything that he's chasing. Love it when he puts that USA jersey on because me being from Ohio, you know, I got my college that I follow, but at the same time, like it's hard not to root for all these people from every different schools that I've talked to because they're just good people. And then at the end of the day, so uh, we wish Christian the best, man. Thanks again uh, for just taking the time to join me, bro. It was truly a blessing and an honor, man, to meet him, to be with him, man. If you guys uh, if you guys didn't enjoy that, then you might as well just you're not gonna enjoy any of them because that stuff is real as it can get, man. He's a solid cat. But again, you guys just keep following, keep liking Beckley Wrestling Show. We're just getting rolling. This is just the start of many more to come. So appreciate everybody taking the time uh to watch this, be a part of it. We love y'all. Have a good night.